I suppose the movie critics were a little sniffy about them. And
no, 10-year-old me was not listening to the critics. He was eating it all up. So. Look, before I even get started, I just need to say, on behalf of like all the Star Wars fans in my generation, welcome back to the franchise. Dude, like I grew up, like you're my generation of Star Wars. So I'm like, I do a lot of interviews, but I'm like super giddy about this one.
Oh man, I really appreciate that. Thank you.
I'm only in the last, few years sort of aware of the generation who we made those films for, like the love that there is for the prequels, because at the time it didn't feel like that. When they came out, they were sort of, I suppose the movie critics were a little sniffy about them. And so it's really nice now to feel that sort of warmth for them. It's great. It means a lot to us.
No, 10-year-old me was not listening to the critics. He was eating it all up. So. Tell me about it. What's it been like getting back into the role?
It's been amazing. What a thrill to get to come back after all this time. It's just been so cool. Yeah,
has it felt different than before?
Certainly it's different, different for me because I'm at a different place in my life. Different people telling these stories. But of course there's a lot of familiar ground too, Getting to work with Ewan again was just, so much fun. And just stepping back into this character, there was a lot of familiarity there. This is a character that I know pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, it is different. I'm that bit older. I'm at that bit sort of closer in age to Alec Guinness, and who created the Obi-Wan Kenobi in the first place. So I feel that it's, and also story-wise, it's 10 years after the end of Episode 3. Obi-Wan Kenobi is closer to Alec Guinness's Obi-Wan Kenobi, I guess, because he's more of a solitary figure. He's in hiding. Vader's sent out these inquisitors to try and track down the last living Jedis to destroy them. Everything about it felt different and felt good. The technology's different now. We'd spent a lot of time in Episode 2 and 3 on blue screen and green screen sets, which are difficult. It's difficult to keep that sort of alive after 3 months of it. It's like as your head in. But here we had this amazing LCD dome that surrounds the set, and the backgrounds are played onto that screen, so you're actually in the environment. It feels like you're there. If you're wherever, they can create worlds that you couldn't possibly build a set for, and it's all around you. It's really amazing. It feels really good.
They film a lot of this stuff in these digital volumes where the environment is displayed for you 360 degrees, so you step into it and you're in Star Wars, and it's an experience, and it helps a lot too. Just being able to see what's going on around you. I really loved it.
I was really excited actually to get to do stagecraft for this. I really love the technology. I'm a tech nerd too. So, and when we had done first season of Mandalorian, that was the first time, and it was very sort of emerging. So by the time we got to do Kenobi, the technology had already advanced, and so we could do things on Kenobi that we couldn't do on Mandalorian. So it was really exciting, and it was also really exciting to develop material knowing that you were going to shoot it in the volume, because you could be thinking already about, how am I going to stage this? How is this going to shoot? Will it suit the volume?
That being said, with all of that technology, like, are you still, when you're doing the lightsaber stuff, are you still making the sound effects with each? Are you? I don't think I could help myself.
I think I'm probably guilty of doing it now and again, yeah. It's difficult not to do it. I mean, I'm not sure that I ever did it on, during takes, you know what I mean? I think the story is that they used to have to cut the camera because I was doing the noises. It might be true, I can't remember now, but let's just say it was true.
Now, one of the first things I noticed in the trailer, honestly, to be as soon as I saw your character, my first thought was, this Inquisitor has a really good hairdresser, because what part of the galaxy are they doing braids like that? What was it like crafting her look? Did you have any input on that?
I did. Deborah was really great about allowing me to be a part of the building of who Reva would be. And it was really important to me that when it came to hair, I did what my hair does best. Because if a kid wants to be me for Halloween, I would feel crazy if they were like, oh, I need the wig, Mom. It's like, no, you don't need the wig. You can wear your kinky hair and it'll be enough. But I have enjoyed, I think that's been one of my favorite subsets of Twitter. People talking about Reva's salon experience.
No, well, I'm pretty sure there's plenty of little black girls that are thrilled to actually see some more black hair represented that they can kind of like take on in Halloween and stuff. So that's great. In the gap between Revenge of the Sith to now, did you ever think that you'd be reprising this role? Like, did you miss it at all?
I didn't think I would be coming back. I mean, when we finished doing the prequels, that was, you know, it had a real sense of finality back then. You know, I was sort of tasked with playing Anakin Skywalker, and then when we put the helmet on, that was sort of job done. But yeah, man, coming back now and getting to continue with it, it's really been an incredible opportunity. You know, I gave this character my all, and I was just very sort of thankful that I got to put the suit back on again.
Anakin's back. Like, how do you approach this version of Anakin? Because like we've seen the build up to that point and we've seen the aftermath, but I feel like we're in Anakin's prime now, Darth Vader's prime, I should say.
Yeah. No, it's a great, you know, sort of point in the timeline to explore. There's lots of meaty stuff there. You know, I don't want to give away anything, but it's been sort of 10 years of you know, Vader sort of imprisoned in his new life, and how all of that has affected his you know, mental state. There's great stuff there, and there's a lot of good character exploration. How
would you describe Reva as a character?
She's bad, you know, and she's passionate, and I think she's like driven by her heart, and, you know, doesn't take no for an answer. She'll do what she has to do every time. Tell
me about the filming process. What was it like working with like Ewan and Hayden? Like these are Star Wars veterans.
Oh yeah, they definitely lay the foundation. You know, they know what it's like. They've been doing it for almost 20 years now, and they're just so gracious in the way that they move through the world, and people are so excited to see them all the time. And every time they show up for these people that they know love them, and they lead by example. They lead by example for sure.
And were you anxious going into it? Because it's a big franchise.
Well, so I didn't grow up being a super huge Star Wars fan. So at the beginning, for me, it was demystified. I didn't have to fight through a lot of layers to like get to what it was, which I was really grateful for. Whereas now on this side is when the nerves, I think, really start to kick in, because this is foreign territory. The acting I can do, you know. So.
Yeah. How has filming Obi-Wan differed from filming Mandalorian?
Well, I think the biggest difference for me is that, you know, with Mandalorian, we were in a different time period, and a lot of the characters were new. So there was a lot more freedom creatively, I think, with the characters. Whereas this one, you know, because of the legacy and the canon aspect and being in between two trilogies, there's so much history and so much responsibility that goes with them. So on one hand, you know, there's quite a lot of responsibility that you're trying to live up to with it, but it's also really exciting to get to bring these characters back to life on screen.
In terms of the themes and motivations, it looks like we're kind of treading new territory for Obi-Wan and Anakin. What can fans expect kind of from the narrative with this show?
Yeah, I think in the biggest terms of the narrative, a lot of what we were looking at is, you know, how did he go from the end of Revenge of the Sith, you know, this warrior that's sort of screaming and all the pain and the agony of the end, to sort of the peace and the calm of Alec Guinness. So in large part, I think for us, what we were trying to do is answer that question.
Would you be down to return in other Star Wars related projects? So are you done with Obi-Wan now, or do you think there's still more to explore?
No, I've really enjoyed it. I'd love to do it again. I really would. I mean, I'm not contracted to do more, but and nobody's said that there will be more, but I had such a great time on this, and I really enjoyed everything about it, and I feel like it would be nice to do. I'm sure there's still some years left before I'm as old as Alec Guinness was when he did the first film. So we could squeeze in a few more series, maybe.
Yeah,
a few more stories anyway. Who knows?
You never know. Yeah, right up until that point of A New Hope, I feel like. Yes. Would you be down to return in like future Star Wars projects or projects outside of Star Wars even?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I love this character, you know, he means a lot to me, and I would be thrilled to get to continue with it.